Well, the wheel is now over 300 games, so it looks like I'll be doing this for the next decade. If you're new to the channel or haven't seen my previous episodes of this series, I ask you, the viewer, to comment suggestions of games you want to see me platinum. It doesn't matter how difficult or how long, I take all of your suggestions and I throw all of those games into a website called the Picker Wheel. That way I don't have to decide what to play next and you all get to have your say and hope your game gets randomly picked. So far, we've platinumed Sleeping Dogs, Deathloop, Bully, Ghostwire Tokyo, and SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom and the Cosmic Shake, which I've mostly had an absolute blast with. As always, all of these videos will be in the top right hand corner or in the description if you need to catch up. Make sure if you do want to keep seeing more videos like this in the future, be sure to leave the video a like, comment below some more platinum suggestions, subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and if you want to play along at home or see the list of games the wheel comprises of, click the links in the description below. But with all the formalities out of the way, let's spin that wheel to see what we get this time. The level of excitement I had when the wheel landed on BioShock was definitely a first for this series. Not to say I wasn't eager to platinum all the other games we've covered so far, but with BioShock, we're talking about one of my favorite series in gaming, and those types of games you just need to add to your platinum or achievement collection. Now I've played BioShock countless times at this point, back on PC at release, Xbox 360, PS3 where I originally platinumed the game on a long lost account, and again multiple times on the Xbox One and PC, with the BioShock Collection's release. I could play this series over and over and not get sick of it, so yeah, I was excited to have another excuse to make my way through the original BioShock and finally add the game to my platinum collection. So what is the platinum journey like for BioShock? Well, according to PSN profiles, the game ranks a 4 out of 10 in terms of difficulty and should take around 15 hours to complete. So a shorter experience, but far from a gimme, with one trophy in particular worrying me just a smidge. But before I get to that, if you somehow have no idea what BioShock is, here's the basics. BioShock is a first-person shooter with RPG elements. We play as Jack, who has crash landed in the middle of the ocean and after surviving the crash seeks refuge in a mysterious lighthouse. Through the lighthouse we stumble into a bathysphere that introduces us to one of gaming's most iconic locales, Rapture, a city set up in the depths of the ocean run by Andrew Ryan that seems like a paradise until we see the state of Rapture today. The city is in ruin, infested with former residents known as Splicers, Little Sisters, and Big Daddies, and naturally as Jack we want to get the hell out of here. But to do that, first we need to take out Ryan, and so we embark on this mission with the help of our handy wrench, firearms, and plasmids to fend off the horrors of Rapture. Really basic description, but if you're watching this without ever playing BioShock before, well, first of all, go and change that right now. But it's all you really need to know. I do have an almost 2-hour long video where I delve into my overall thoughts in much more depth on the entire BioShock series if that tickles your fancy. But with everyone now caught up, let's get this platinum. Now before I dive into my thought process when going into BioShock's platinum, first I should point out, for whatever reason, I played the game back in 2016 for just 20 minutes, nabbed the trophy, Toaster in the Tub, for electrocuting an enemy in water, didn't finish the first level, which is basically right after that trophy, and then just stopped playing. I don't know why, but that's why the counter is starting at 1. But secondly, I need to point out why exactly I went down the path that I did. One trophy had me seriously worried before going into this journey because again, I've done this before but I did it in a much more challenging way back on the PS3 for whatever reason. The trophy I chose, the impossible, is for beating the game on the hardest difficulty without using a Vita Chamber, BioShock's respawn system. Now Survivor difficulty is tough enough as is, but no respawns is where I had flashbacks, and what I remember doing back in the day is just saving constantly. Had a good fight? Save. had a bad encounter, reload and try again. So I was a bit nervous going in because even though it's not insanely difficult as you can save whenever you want, for me that's just not a fun way to play the game. What I somehow missed back in 2007, however, was the fact that BioShock has a New Game Plus feature, making that daunting task a whole heck of a lot more fun, and once I learned about that handy feature is when I made my plan of attack for this platinum. Step 1 is where a bulk of the work is getting done as we beat the game on whatever difficulty you want. Easy, normal, hard, whatever makes you feel good, and play through the game doing everything you possibly can outside of the difficulty related trophies. Yes, you can do this all in one playthrough, but again, it just would have sucked all the fun out of the game for me, and honestly, I think it might even be quicker to just split this into 2 playthroughs anyway, as you'll see later in the video. Now, just by playing the game, I'd say you're guaranteed to unlock about 21 trophies. Probably a few more, but at a minimum, you should have beaten every level, hacked one of each hackable objects, bought an extra plasmid or tonic slot, researched a splicer and taken a quality photo in the process, upgraded a weapon once and at least fully upgraded one weapon, and invented one item. Again, you should probably have a few more by the time you're done with your first playthrough, like having a few fully upgraded weapons, hacking at least 50 items, and fully researching a few enemies, but the ones I've just gone over are absolutely unmissable in my opinion. We obviously got a lot more than that in this first step though, but you do need to bear in mind a few things for the entire playthrough because there are a few missable trophies in this game. The big one is the audio diaries. There are 122 of these bad boys to find and collect, and they're not the easiest to spot, and in 2 locations you need to grab them all your first time through because you cannot go back if you miss one. Secondly are the weapon upgrade stations. Some are plain as day, others are hidden away, and you want all of your weapons fully upgraded for New Game Plus. Related to the weapon upgrade stations, one is hidden away in Sander Cohen's room, which is another missable trophy as you cannot unlock the room if you killed Cohen back in Fort Frolic. You need to keep him alive until you reach Olympus Heights and do it there instead. You also need to save every little sister you come across, but given we're trying to set ourselves up for the next playthrough, we need all the Atom we can get. And lastly, keep an eye out for any tonics laying around, ones you can craft or purchase, because you need 58 tonics for another missable trophy. Outside of that, we begin our journey with not much happening outside of those unmissables, just keeping an eye out for those items I just mentioned until after we obtained the research camera. There are a whole heap of trophies for fully researching every enemy in the game, and again, you want to do this now to set you up good and proper for New Game Plus, as you get a lot of damage bonuses as a reward. The quickest way to get these done is just by spamming the camera at the same enemy until you no longer get enough points for it to count, rinse and repeat until that enemy is fully researched. So we knocked out the gun and thug splicer nice and quick because they're by far the most common enemies, and not long after also fully researched the Houdini and spider splicers. We managed to successfully hack 50 objects and invented all possible ammo types before we arrived at BioShock's only RNG based trophy, Lucky Winner, which is for hitting the jackpot on a slot machine. As far as I'm aware, the only working slot machines are in Fort Frolic, and like most RNG trophies, this can be done first try, first 5 minutes, or if you're like me, take almost 40 minutes of sheer boredom and reloading several times before the jackpot hits. This was honestly exhausting and turned my brain to mush after a while, but hey, could have been worse, I suppose. Back to actually playing the game though, at this point I'd found 4 upgrade stations, fully upgrading 2 weapons, photographed one of each type of enemy in the game, bought all available plasmid slots, fully upgraded another weapon, fully researched the Bouncer, Big Daddy and Little Sisters, bought all the tonic slots, fully upgraded my fourth weapon, and by this point we were in Olympus Heights, so I managed to find Cohen's room, finally kill him and take his picture, fully researched the Nitro Splicer and Rosie Big Daddy, along with completing all possible research paths for the game. You need to also fully research the security cameras, bots and turrets to get this one done. Found, invented or purchased a total of 58 tonics, fully upgraded the last two weapons, saved every little sister in the game, and here is when I thought I should have found my last audio diary. So yeah, apparently I missed one, but honestly for a solid half an hour I was convinced it was bugged. I couldn't have missed one. I know these locations like the back of my hand, I thought. And you ever look into a trophy and find out it's bugged? It just convinces you straight away to stop looking and blame the game. Well, turns out I didn't find them all, like I presumed, rather arrogantly. I missed one in this little crawl space in the farmer's market that I walked past numerous times, but thankfully, that one did pop the trophy, and we moved on through the story until I beat the game, nabbing our last trophy for this playthrough for beating the game without harvesting any of the little sisters. And that was our first playthrough done and dusted. The only thing I missed outside of the difficulty trophies was for inventing at least 100 items, but what I didn't know at that time that I found out later was you can actually just save in front of a you invent, craft some items, reload your save and just keep crafting the same thing until you reach 100. So that can easily be done in this step as well, but I did it during our next step. But with all the heavy lifting done and out the way, all I had left was to complete the second and final step, beating the game on survivor difficulty without using any Vita chambers. Thankfully, the rest of the difficulty trophies stack, meaning if we accomplish this, then the platinum was ours. None of this play the game on every difficulty nonsense that annoys me to no end. Now, if you didn't die during the first playthrough, apparently you can simply reload before the Atlas boss fight, change the difficulty to survivor, and the trophy does unlock that way. I didn't know that till after the fact, but it didn't apply to me anyway since I did die during this playthrough, as I figured who cares, and to be honest, I was game to try it legit anyway. Plus, I needed to invent a lot more stuff, so I sort of had to play it all again. Now, the hardest part about this trophy is actually playing the introduction again, because you start as if you were playing a fresh save. The wrench does bugger all, you take so much damage, and the supplies are few and far between. It's dangerous, and it didn't take me long to be so thankful that I decided to attempt this trophy with a New Game Plus playthrough, because the rest was a cakewalk compared to that introduction. You don't need to battle the big daddies because Adam, outside of some plasmids or health and Eve upgrades you may have missed, are irrelevant. Some quests you can go straight to the end, like in the medical pavilion, since you already have telekinesis and incinerate, meaning you can just face off against Dr. Steinman right off the bat, and where you still need to be careful and cautious of your enemies as long as you play it safe, pick your battles and utilize the right weapons and ammo for the enemies, this really wasn't a problem. I mean, I did this in one sitting, taking me about 3.5 hours to complete without all the busy work I had to do for that first playthrough. So when I got to and defeated Atlas once again, the trophies came raining in.
They offered you this city.
Or at least they should have, but apparently they showed the lamest trophy for beating the game on hard and just skipped to the platinum for whatever reason. Kind of ruined that buzz I was anticipating, but as you can see here, I did unlock all the trophies. Just sort of ruins my little tally. But at least the platinum popped, I guess. Before I close out this journey though, I do just want to touch on the challenge room trophies and say that I simply didn't do them. I've never been interested in that sort of side content, and with them being a separate trophy list and not within the main game platinum requirements, I'm happy with getting my platinum and piecing out. Obviously, if it was required, I'd go for it and push through, but it's not on PlayStation, which I'm thankful for. I'm not fussed about getting 100% on every game we cover. I'm here for those sweet platinums, and even though I've heard they're quite simple, I'm good as is. For BioShock 2 and Infinite, absolutely I'll play the DLC content, but here, it just doesn't interest me, and I'd rather leave my time with BioShock on the high that I did. So, after 14 hours in total, one better than the guide, I just get better and better. What did I think of BioShock's Platinum and the game in general? Honestly, I had an absolute blast with this one. I love BioShock, its story, gameplay, atmosphere, locale, I love it all, and for me the trophies came so naturally to me because I wanted to explore this world as much as I could. I wanted to be as badass as possible and upgrade everything I could. See what the game was like on the hardest difficulty again and just do it all. I can't describe how excited I was to see BioShock get selected this week, but I can say that I am so damn happy that I finally platinumed this masterpiece once again. BioShock for me just gets better and better each time I play it, and being encouraged to scour Rapture for all it's worth was such a blast. If you've never played BioShock before, change that now. But if you have and haven't gotten this platinum for yourself yet, then I highly recommend you do so. It's not too challenging despite what the trophy I chose the impossible sounds like. I mean, personally I'd say the game sits at about a 3 out of 10 in terms of difficulty myself, but it's just an absolute joy to experience whether this is your first time venturing into Rapture or your 100th. It was that damn good. Seriously, if you want to see BioShock 2 and Infinite in the near future, let me know down below because I don't know if I can wait for the wheel to land on this again. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure if you did enjoy the video to leave it a like because it helps let me know that you enjoyed yourself. Comment below some more platinum suggestions. Let's keep this series going. Shout out to the channel members Infamous Sir Hellfire, featuring Gagiano, Christian Volgag, Cloud Connection, Kranatoko, Crumb Sparky, Driftum, Earlium, Gregors, Milk the Cow, Pero, Stud Fox, Mytharon, Viper Dog, and Dark Wolf. For that extra level of support, I truly do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, go give my socials a follow if you fancy @MayorHairBear, and I'll catch you all in the next video.